Okay, I want to go into this with these fine friends and experts here. We got radio talk show host Monica Crowley, FBN's Charlie Gasparino, last but not least, Democratic strategist David Mercer. So, David, I want to begin with you because that has been my rap, largely, not exclusively, against some Democratic politicians I've had on who just say, Neil, how dare you question the need for infrastructure repair? I'd never questioned the need. I did question what happened to all the other monies we've raised to address that need. And therein lies the rub. Anyone who even demands accountability gets rubbed out. What do you think of that?
Well, I don't think. I think accountability is something that we should all be held to, and
But
people are.
David.
As we're here talking, as we're here talking today, as to where is the money going and where's the state of the economy, and is it being appropriated accordingly to improve our economy? And with deficits, we had a surplus last month in December. We have deficits in decline on an annual basis over the last 4 or 5 years. That was not the trend during the Bush years. And we also are trying to get a stronger footing on employment, where we're now down to 6.7%.
You're veering off track. I'm simply asking you,
sure,
why not demand accountability and checking where all those infrastructure funds went? Question where the trillions have gone to make us win the war on poverty. Where did that go before we heap more money upon that money? That's what I'm asking.
And it's very clear from the spending bill that was just passed in the House, it is very much accountable as to where the money is going and also where it's not going. And one thing we do know is that it's not going to unemployment benefits and extending them, which will lead.
I tried so hard not to make this a political hack attack, but Monica, my worry about this on the right, because everyone has their pet peeves and their pet projects as well, and part of this sees the need for more money to fund whatever you want to do without demanding accountability for the money you spent.
Yeah, government is the least efficient apparatus on the face of the earth because there is no profit motive. The only motivation inspiring any political leaders in this country is getting reelected. And what does that mean? That means passing on more and more money, getting more money from the taxpayer, plowing it back into your state, back into your district. And you're absolutely right, Neil, when you say that Republicans are as much a part of the problem as Democrats. Democrats are more guilty of taxing and spending and borrowing. However, you have so many Republicans, not all, but you have so many Republicans on the other side who are progressives, who do believe in big government, who refuse to rein in spending, who refuse to rein in the size of government. They are just as guilty of getting us into this predicament as the Democrats, who are at least honest.
We go in a circle about it, right?
But
Gasparino, I want to bring you into it because I think this gets back to how you look and how many in the media are afraid they will look if they dare question extending unemployment benefits, or they dare seem to be heartless by even questioning the idea of going beyond 50 weeks, 99 weeks, whatever.
Well, how's this for Washington accountability? Fannie and Freddie still exist. These two monstrosities that caused the housing crisis still exist. And by the way, Fannie and Freddie were hit with accounting scandals back in 2000. It was at least it was before the financial crisis, and not many reporters questioned them. Why? Because Fannie and Freddie was allegedly doing God's work, helping poor people get loans. As we know, those loans were given to people who really couldn't afford the houses that they were buying and to repay the loans, and hence we had a housing crisis and then a financial crisis. So, the road to serfdom is often paved with good intentions, and there is no accountability. We should point out that the stimulus package and the President Obama, this is where he's at his low point. He laughs about this. There was no shovel-ready projects out of that stimulus package, and he actually laughs about that. So that's where we go. That's where the money's spent.
Well, I guess what I'm asking now, and David, this is that I've tried on. Monica brought it out as well on this pox on both parties' houses for just turning a blind eye to this. But my fear is that every time you question pouring more money into something, anything, let's say unemployment benefits, let's say more for a variety of poverty programs that really haven't done much to move the needle on poverty, you instantly, and I have emails to prove it, and the phone calls, the cursing electronically to prove it, you come across as Satan in a cheap suit. I don't think it's such a cheap suit, but you got it.
I don't think anybody should fear being held accountable to how we're spending money or where we're not spending money.
Have you seen the politicians I've interviewed on this show? When I start saying, before you ask another dime from me, can you explain how tens of billions of infrastructure dough has just disappeared? You would think I had ripped their heart out.
And they should be held accountable for that. And we saw, counter to what was said earlier, with the infrastructure projects that are on the books, that without that we would be in a worse shape than we were 4 years ago.
All right, I really would have tried.
We have to have investments.
Monica, what I'm asking for is, I recommended this on my Fox Business show, which, Monica, if you don't get, you should demand. And the issue was full accountability, a full accounting of all departments, and Inspector General for all federal spending, so we can keep track of every penny where it goes, and not just sort of like a sweeping generality to put into some sort of a vague sort of overall budget without getting into the details. Then you're shining the light on all this.
Yeah, and we've always needed that, but since the Great Recession, 2007, 2008, we have had unprecedented fiscal and monetary stimulus, and this economy is still in sad shape, and there's no accountability. There's nobody representing
Neil,
the taxpayer.
if there was bipartisan accountability, and I say bipartisan, Fannie and Freddie would have been out of business back in 2005 when there was an accounting scandal. Now, why was it stayed in business? Well, George Bush liked Fannie and Freddie. They liked the housing program.
No, none of this to go around, guys. I want to.
That budget is, our budget now is lower than it was in 2008. It was 1.78 trillion, and it's 1.1 trillion this time. That's accountability.
I'm glad you got into this debate. I am going to keep pushing this, though, and I do appreciate you guys helping me push back and forth on it. But it really comes back to this, folks. It is your money, and I am the money guy here at Fox, and there's nothing really magic to what I do. It's money in, money out for me. I see a lot of money going out, and I can't explain it. I can't track it. And when I have trouble tracking, I'm pretty good at this stuff. You are in deep doo-doo. And Herman